Certainly. Good afternoon, everyone. So, as you just mentioned, basically, Hilton within the UK, where we have approximately 75 properties at the moment and growing quite steadily. We've got a big focus on development at the moment, so we're planning to add quite a few properties in the next 2-3 years. And the UK and Ireland form part of our European portfolio, which is a total of 180 properties. Now, Hilton across Europe has been very active in terms of energy reduction and sustainability in general for several years. However, about 5 years ago, the need was felt to have a stronger focus on energy reduction, water management, waste management, and chemical reduction. And basically, over the last 5 years, with this additional focus which we've put in place, we've managed to reduce about 15% of energy on our UK properties, and roughly the same as well across the rest of the European estate. And this has delivered approximately 45,000 tons of CO2 in reduction in emissions. Our performance has been assessed by Carbon Trust last November, and I'm happy to say that we've been awarded accreditation for the Carbon Trust standard. So basically, we are in fact in place for the introductory phase of the CRC scheme. All our properties already are on half-hourly meters, so basically we're in place. And I really would like to say that irrespective of the CRC scheme, I think it does make business sense. Being green does make business sense. So really every company should strive and make a special focus on being more sustainable and being more energy efficient, irrespective of whatever legislation is introduced, because it does deliver financial results as well. I'm also proud to say that since June 2008, Hilton globally, across the globe, including the States, Far East, and Middle East and Africa, we now have one global program, which in a way, I'm happy to say, was spurred on from what we had already achieved and delivered across Europe, so of Europe being a leader in the sustainability field globally. And we now have a global program in place with global targets, so obviously, both in the UK and the rest of Europe, our focus is on delivering these company targets which have been set for us. And our target is that by 2014, we actually reduce globally our energy consumption by 20%, CO2 emissions by 20%, waste output by 20% as well, and 10% water reduction. Now, how did we go about basically achieving the results we have already achieved to date? And I would say it's basically was a two-pronged attack. The first part of that was very team member focused, and what we did was basically implement a company-wide program across all our properties to train and incentivize and motivate our team members in the field of sustainability and energy management. So basically, rather taking up to a few years ago, responsibility for sustainability and energy management was more or less the chief engineer's responsibility within the hotel, and nobody else really bothered. And we want to take that away from take it to a certain extent, take the responsibility away from the chief engineer and divest that responsibility across the whole team. Because at the end of the day, each team member within the hotel, whether the most junior member or senior management, is responsible in consuming energy, wasting water, and using chemicals. And basically, by creating a team-centered training program through various workshops, online courses, through our virtual Hilton University, setting up of green teams in each property, we managed to motivate our team members and get them to basically look around their micro workplace, the space around them on a daily basis, and see how they could impact that in a positive manner. Coupled to this, basically to incentivize our team members further, we created a competition, which we call the mountain bike competition, and basically the best 5 performing hotels each year for the last 4 years, each team member in those hotels have been awarded a mountain bike. And this has certainly been, a carrot, and which has encouraged our team members even more. So rather than our team members looking at the program as, this is another cost-saving exercise by the company, by the board, it really became something which engaged them and which incentivized them, and at the end of the day they were also awarded for their achievements. Linked to this, one key important factor is measurement. At the end of the day, what you do not measure, you cannot really reduce, because you don't even know how much you're consuming. So measurement, tracking and reporting, I believe, is a key part of being more energy efficient and becoming overall more sustainable. And we put in place the required tools and an online reporting system where basically all key environmental parameters, so not just utilities, but also refrigerant consumption, refrigerant replacement, etc., got reported on a monthly basis into this online tool. And from that, we created monthly leak tables, which, funnily enough, is similar to what the CRC scheme will be launching as of this year. So basically, on a monthly basis, we've got a leak table for our properties all across Europe, including the UK, region by region. We've got a total of six operational regions, 2 of them in the UK, where the hotels within that region, are ranked in terms of their performance. And they ranked in terms of their performance in terms of their own achievements. So we're measuring a property in terms of its own consumption. So we're actually tracking the reduction in consumption. And we track their key performance indicators, which are basically kilowatt hours per square meter, per room occupied, and similar. Then obviously on the other side there was a more capital intensive investment, which having operating properties, operating buildings with clients who are very often quite demanding, we had to implement actions which did not impact in any way on our guest expectations, but at the same time deliver reduction in energy. And so the key actions which we took across practically all our properties was obviously the installation of more energy efficient lighting, relamping. We originally moved to compact fluorescents. We're now moving to LEDs, depending on as the technology develops further. Installation of timers, movement detectors in back of house areas, etc. We installed quite a few variable speed extract systems in kitchens. As you can probably appreciate, kitchen operation in large hotels is a key, is one of the areas where we consume most energy, and extraction and fresh air supply into those kitchens is a heavy power consumer. So basically by varying our airflows depending on the actual cooking load in those kitchens, we managed to reduce our energy consumption in the kitchen areas substantially. We then had obviously also voltage optimization units which were put in place. We also changed a number of transformers, where transformers were very old, moved on to more newer technology, more efficient transformers, less losses. We also audited basically the state of our thermal insulation in our buildings, and basically across most of the properties we installed a series of thermal jackets on valves, on heat exchangers, and basically reducing our thermal losses, recovering about 5% of our thermal losses. We've also got several CHP units. We've got a total of 25 CHP units in our UK estate installed, and obviously the way ahead is the way in terms of CRC and looking at the more overall picture, how we're going to reduce our energy, the focus now is on the larger, more capital-intensive projects. So we're looking at CHP, we're looking at ground source heating and cooling. We are also looking at opportunity of installing fuel cells. We've got our property in New York, the Hilton New York, which is one of the first hotels in the world to actually have a 450 kilowatt fuel cell installed. This was 2 years ago. And based on the results, positive results received in that area, in that hotel, we're now going to roll it out across Europe. Basically, that's it. Thank you.